Yo, what's going on, Gooners and Goonerettes? Little update here on Granit Xhaka. A lot of things now going on with Arsenal this week. And when you kind of hear things like this, it's like, okay, there's still a few games left of the season, but Arsenal are just ramping everything up for the summer. They want to get their business done nice and early so they don't get involved in all that mess that we see around the transfer market where all the to and froms are happening, teams just batting prices around, everybody else getting involved, Chelsea sniffing around because transfer sagas are going on weeks and going on months. So Arsenal are really just trying to hit it fast and hard and then get their business done as soon as possible and negate all of the drama. And fair play, because when you think about it, they kind of started with that last season and the season before that. Gone are the days when the Gunners used to sit on the sideline and then just drag out the summer transfer. They're really changing their ethos now, and that's what I like. The fact that they're serious about getting this done, and that type of attitude is why they're going to succeed and get their targets. So, and I said before, guys, the other day, we missed out on a lot of targets as Vlahovic and Modric, and, you know, they missed out on Douglas Luiz. They missed out on a lot of targets, Rafinha. A ton of targets they've missed out on, but at the same time, they brought a lot of players in. So what's happening right now? Granit Xhaka. Here you guys now talking about Xhaka. Some of you guys, a lot of you guys, in fact, want him to stay. But let me just draw a picture for you here. Granit Xhaka started 34 games for Arsenal. And he's had 5 goals, 7 assists. Now, 5 goals is the most he's ever had. Previously, before that, he's only scored 1 or 2 goals in a season. So he's had, by far, his best season. So, you know, kudos, well done to Xhaka for that. Fantastic season he's had. But when you look at the competition and when you look at what Arteta's actually looking for in that role, you're looking for somebody who's going to be attack-minded and competent in front of goal. And he's looking to get young at that position as well. So when you take someone like Xhaka, really done well this season, 5 goals, 34 games he's played. And when you look at the Premier League champions, they've had Gundogan in that role, and he is 32 years old, so he's a couple of years older than Xhaka, but he only played 24 games, not 34 games. He played 10, he started 10 less games than Xhaka, but he scored 8 goals. Yeah, those are the levels. So it's got nothing to do with Xhaka. It's got to do with what Arteta's expectations are and looking in that role. And what we know now is that they haven't come to the table with a new contract with Granit Xhaka. There's been no talks. There's been nothing from Arsenal to say, we want you to stay. And that's what's made Xhaka go in and look to try and find something elsewhere. And according to Fabrizio Romano, it's a great deal that Xhaka's getting. He's getting a 4-year contract, so he'll be playing for Bayer Leverkusen up till 34, 35. So it was a good contract for him. Arsenal, there's no long-term plans as far as Arsenal goes. So he's got to take it and run with it where it is. And then, you know, he can be a leader in that team and set them up. And that's how it's going to work with him. That's why he's making the move to jump now. For Arsenal, as I said, in comparison to what Man City has in that role, when you look at someone, an advanced attacking midfielder like a Cesc Fabregas, Aaron Ramsey, if you're looking at Cazorla, all those players scored in double digits, which is twice more than what Granit Xhaka did. So it's got nothing to do with Xhaka. Xhaka's been great this year. It's got to do about what the expectations are at that role. And the expectations, I know a lot of people are talking about Smith Rowe playing at 8. Fabio Vieira, he can play there, and it just needs a little bit more time and developing in that role. But, you know, you got some big names coming in now. Declan Rice, you know, they're in advanced talks with him. Apparently personal terms were sorted out in March. And it's really just now them talking about a fee with West Ham, and Arsenal reportedly going in for 90 million. And they reckon that that's going to be enough to get the deal done. I hope it is. With the Xhaka thing, that's 15 million. So if you think about it, really, 15 million off that, they're getting Declan Rice for 75 million. You know, the ins and outs, that's how it's workable. And so that makes sense to me, because Declan Rice, 24 years old, you're getting someone who you can then shift around certain positions. You can then play around with your midfield. in terms of who goes advance, who steps back in the number 4 role, who is there a number 6, do you play the double pivot? I really think all of these things are happening right now, all from what we've seen from the day Arteta came in and he took over the team. He's been working within the means of the team and not really having what he wants. He's had the single pivot with Partey. He had the 3 at the back, which brought himself an FA Cup winners medal and trophy. But all of these things is not exactly what he wants to do. It's not the way he wants to play. The best teams in the league are playing, in Europe, in the world, are all playing with a double pivot. And that's kind of where Arsenal need to go. So that's the reason why he's done all that strengthening, defenders, he's brought in left backs and right backs, he's got your striker options now, he's got all those things that he's invested in, and now it's time for him to invest in the midfield. So we're going to see an abundance of changes there. But for me, guys, I think that it's the right thing to do. And I know some of you guys are probably going to be, yeah, we need Xhaka, we need at least need him to be part of a squad. Maybe he doesn't want to be a squad player. But like I said, the fact that Arsenal haven't come to Xhaka with a contract or an extension of some sort means that he's not in their plans long term. So the player's got to do what he's got to do. But it's, you know, fair play to him. Hope he does well whenever the move gets done. But it's more about what Arsenal are trying to do and what they're trying to achieve. And if they do get that input from that position, you imagine they're getting goals from Odegaard, 15 goals. They're getting goals from Martinelli, again, 15 goals. Saka, 12 goals. They got Jesus in double figures now, 10 goals. If you start to look at, and Nketiah has got 9 goals. So you look at all these goals happening everywhere else. You plug in that number 8 position where you can get some input from that in double-digit figures. And then it makes the team better. And that is what Arteta is trying to do. That is the message that he's sending to the team, the fans, that we're trying to improve in that regard. So, yeah, it looks like it's working its way through. And as I said, I'm happy with Declan Rice. Talks about Moussa Diaby now are intensifying as well. I don't know what's going on in terms of strikers. We're not hearing anything there, but this is early doors right now. There's not a lot of striking options, if I'm honest. We have still got Jesus as number 1. We got Nketiah, and then we got Martinelli, who's the 3rd option. Trossard as well is now a 4th option as a main striker. I know you guys are talking about you'd like to see Balogun come in, someone bigger, someone stronger. But I would probably think that with the amount of money, you know, we're hearing 200 million is what's been given to Edu to spend this summer. So with the amount of wealth that is going to be coming in, you're going to have to get rid of some players. So I would expect to see some players out, including Balogun. So don't be shocked or surprised if he goes out of the front door. And it is a shame because I'd like to see him come in there in pre-season and see what he can do. I want to see those transferable skills. I want to see him take everything that he's learned from Rennes and come over here and then show everybody his development, his hold-up play, what it's like in the box, goal scoring, his positional play. I want to see all those different things and see whether they translate. But if somebody comes in and they want a young striker and a striker to see them through, then and they offer you 40, 50 million, and you're going to have to take the money. You've got no options. You're going to have to take the deal. And he may well be in the plans of any of the promoted teams as well. They're going to be looking at strikers. If you look at the fact of what Nottingham Forest and those teams have done and how they've improved and tried to get away from the relegation zone, it's because they brought in big men. So there's going to be room to grow for Balogun. Balogun's going to have a good career, no doubt about it. I've got no qualms about that. But whether it will be with Arsenal is a different thing altogether. And that's the reason why your Coutinho is leaving. That's the reason why now people are talking about Smith Rowe. I personally don't think Smith Rowe is in their plans to leave. That would really be down to the player. The player loves Arsenal. And, you know, he signed a new deal last year. I know some people were talking about how he's not been doing anything this season when he's been injured. You can't do anything if you're crocked. And if you look at Martinelli's first year, he scored 10 goals when he was 19. Second year, a lot was being talked about. Yeah, you know, this is going to be our guy for the future. And he did nothing because he was injured. A couple of goals, a couple of assists for the whole season. Never really did anything. And now he's fit again 15 goals, leads the team in scoring. So it just goes to show, like, you have to invest in your players, because Smith Rowe, when he's on it, can do a job. He can do a job. So I'd like to see him be fit this season, and I'd like to see him come back, have a strong pre-season, be fit for next season, and then come in and start banging the goals in. He'll definitely, in that 8 position, he'll definitely have more offensive output than Xhaka did. The difference is they're going to have to teach him the defensive side of the game. And that's not too difficult. He's young. He'll still be able to pick up a lot of things. He has the energy. He definitely has a lot more in terms of the range. You know, he can run. He's athletic. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below, guys, about Xhaka going out, Declan Rice, 90 million coming in. Let's hear your thoughts and see what's going on. Speak to you later, guys. Peace out, man.